bitter truth Obasanjo told Tinubu during visitation. As scores of supporters of the APC in Ogun State Wednesday stormed the residence of former President Olusegun Obasanjo in Abeokuta to seek Obasanjo's support for Bola Tinubu's presidential ambition, details of what transpired have filtered out. A credible source said it was exactly what happened to former President Jonathan in 2015. Speaking further, the Ogun State-born lawmaker said, Baba didn't want to receive Tinubu. It was Segun Osoba that brokered the deal for Tinubu to be able to see the former president. Obasanjo reluctantly received them, just the way he reluctantly received Jonathan in 2015. That is his style whenever he is not in support of anyone's aspiration. Baba simply told him that he ought not to be in the race because of the poor performance of APC and because it is important to be fair to the East and for the equity and all-inclusiveness. Tinubu had arrived at the penthouse of the Olusegun Obasanjo Presidential Library Oke-Musan Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital, in his chopper at about 1:09 p.m. in company of some party leaders. He was received by Governor Dapo Abiodun, former Governor Gbenga Daniel, his predecessor Segun Osoba, and other Ogun State government functionaries. The two southwest political heavyweights have since kept their distances as Obasanjo withdrew his support from Buhari and the APC over poor scorecard in governance. Well, of course, hearing about this, tensions were everywhere, and the expectation was, okay, fine. This individual, Obasanjo, has also given his support to Peter Obi and has said a lot about Atiku, which shows that if you I don't think he can support whoever he wants, but supporting two doesn't make him reliable. And as such, you can say, okay, fine, it's Peter Obi. So I guess, okay, it's given a reliable source. We don't know what the reliable source is, but it wouldn't be hard to decipher and think, you know what, it is highly unlikely that Obasanjo would give his support, which is not far-fetched. And I guess, really, the given reason for Obasanjo's, lack of support is the fact that, it is not fair on the grounds of equity, and fairness is the son of the Southeast, and the fact APC has scored poorly when it comes to governance, and the fact that you're too old. Literally, I think that's also another argument. But then again, can you say that argument is valid? Because I think he's younger than Atiku, but Atiku looks healthier. I don't know, call it what you want, but again, he doesnn't look fit. Those are the other reasons I said. But really, he should not be running. What more does he need? Again, with the accomplishments that they say he has had with Lagos State, that should really be enough, if anything, because he's regarded in such high praise. And okay, you're of age, you have achieved a lot. In fact, listen, you don't have to have the title of president before we know that, okay, fine, you have power, because he's shown that and has accredited himself to making people and mentoring people into different positions. And he even claimed that he put Buhari where he is today. So we're not questioning that he doesn't have power. In fact, he's had enough. But the fact that he wants to go for more is troubling, very, very troubling. And if he even, I don't know what may even save him. I don't think Nigerians are willing to listen. But if he comes out and says, you know what, my party has not done the best, and the president right now has not performed best, okay, great. But you cannot expect your party that is not favorable, that has not performed well, you cannot expect that you will use that same party, that same platform to appeal to Nigerians, and you tell them to vote for you. That's just very rude. It's very rude and disrespectful to Nigerians, because you really think that Nigerians' judgments can be so clouded to think that you are still appropriate and adequate enough to get to that position. That's just very bad. But if anything, it's funny because it also mentioned that a lot of people were surrounded around Obasanjo's residence, and of course in support of Tinubu and trying to, make sure that, his entrance and supporting, his presidential ambition. And it's funny because as much as you might have your arguments about, or I might have my arguments about Tinubu, which is not favorable to him, he still does have his fans. He still does have, those people that will still support and say this is who we support in spite of whatever, whatever facts are in front of them. And you'd begin to ask, are you actually living in the country for you to think is that kind of way? So yeah, really, it all comes down to what individuals and the youth, as they say, it's a game of numbers. So what are they going to do? What would they decide to do? Because yes, Obasanjo can give you support, but he has one vote. And I think someone gave a comment one day and was like, you know what? Obasanjo has one vote. Me, myself, I have one vote. So listen, because he endorses one person does not now mean that, okay, fine, he will account for 10,000 votes. It's still one vote at the end of the day. So what makes his opinion and endorsement greater than mine or my opinion? Why should it have such an influence in, in deciding who I support? And yes, of course, endorsements are very much important for people to vouch for your character. But right now, I think Nigerians, the sugar-coated rainbow fairy, rainbows and sunshine elections of, charisma, going to the people, we're done. Nigerians are done with that. And I think Nigerians have developed very high trust issues. And as such, should be very harsh and very strict on whoever is going to be there, except, they're willing to suffer. But then, given how the country is, I don't know what situation will make Nigerians over-unite, but I think it's happening right now just with the youth. But it also begs the question that a lot of people ask is, are Nigerians actually ready for the change? Let's say Peter Obi wins, or Nigeria's favorite wins, right? Are we actually ready for the work that's actually going to go in when it comes to productivity? I mean, again, Nigerians are already hardworking anyways, but there's a lot of work that has to do with the judicial system, with the economy, with security. So, if anything, Nigerians will just have to be watchers and make sure, for sure, that, yes, because we support you, it's not just some fandom kind of situation. It's not that you're not a celebrity. You are a politician that is there to work for us. You're in government. That's why Nigerians need to understand the position that they play and understand that, we put you there. And so we will have a right to hold you accountable when you mess up. Put what you think about it in the comment section below. And do not forget to like and subscribe.